going on, everybody? Welcome into IMHO. I'm Kelcey. That is John Roser, sitting cool. As
I have to. I pulled a muscle in my back sitting here. I don't know what I did. I am so old.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone at home. JJ Redick this week, John Roser, came out, used his podcast, announced his retirement. A little bit of a shock. I mean, he's one of the older players, but a little bit of a shock just randomly this week saying, I'm out.
Yeah, would have thought he was going to try to, because last year, he wanted to go to Brooklyn, and then the Pelicans traded him to Dallas, and he was really mad about it. He was vocal about it. I thought he would have tried to go to Brooklyn because he has a home there, and maybe get a ring with Kyrie and KD and Harden and those guys, but I guess not. Alas,
he's not doing it. Let's talk this week about your most shocking athlete retirement. Like, who was an athlete who came out and you were like, wait, what? Why are they retiring?
I'm going to do football because I know you've got your basketball.
No, I'm going to do football too.
No, you're not. You don't even know who these three football players are. They're three of the greatest of all times at their respective positions. Barry Sanders.
Wait, do you have Gronk? I know who that is.
No, it's not Gronk.
That wasn't a shock?
Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders played for the Detroit Lions from 1989 to 1998. He retired after the 1998 season. He had that year almost 1,500 yards rushing. He had over 1,700 total yards. Here's the thing. He retired after the 98 season. He was the MVP of the league in 1997. Just 1 year before when he rushed for 2,000 yards. Barry Sanders was a member of the All-Decade Team, 1997 MVP, a 10-time Pro Bowler, 6-time first-team All-Pro, 4-time second-team All-Pro, led the NFL in rushing 4 times, was the 1989 NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Why did he retire?
The guy had, because he played for the Lions.
Are they not good?
The Lions have made the playoffs like twice since I've been alive. I think they made it once with Sanders, and then they made it a couple years ago, and they lost in the first round to the Seahawks. But it's because he played for the Lions. He got sick of losing.
Okay, I'm going to stick with basketball. Let me get my first 2 out of the way because I feel like they're the most obvious ones. We walked in here, we knew what we were talking about. Magic Johnson. Yep. He comes out right after his HIV diagnosis, and he's like, "Hey, I tested, I'm so used to saying tested positive for COVID, but I've been diagnosed with HIV, and I am also retiring." And that was right after he led the Lakers to the finals in 1991, obviously losing to Michael Jordan there. He came back 4 years later, but that was essentially his retirement.
He also coached the Lakers for a little bit too.
And he's still, not anymore, right?
I have a basketball card. I'd have to find it. It's Magic Johnson as a coach. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, I kept it just because of that. I'm like, weird. A little bit of history there.
Weird. The other very obvious one is Michael Jordan. Just before the 93 season, he's like, you know what, folks? I'm really good. I've won some championships, and I'm going to go play baseball now. I think everyone at that time, I was an infant. You were alive. You were kicking. Everyone was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
You're going to play what?
I had tickets to a preseason game to see the Bulls play. They were coming here to Memphis to play at what is now a Bass Pro Shops, the Pyramid, and let's just say I cried.
Baby Roser.
I did. I cried. Like Jordan was he's my favorite athlete ever. Anybody that grew up, it's around my age, and you grew up and you were an NBA fan. Michael Jordan was your favorite player, and it was, yes.
He returned too, just like Magic, but it wasn't the same.
And won 3 more titles, and then retired again, and then came back with the Wizards and averaged 20 points per game.
We get it. We get it. You like Michael Jordan. We get it. You're number 2.
The next one I'm going to go with is there's a theme here. Another Detroit Lion. Calvin Johnson, a wide receiver, played from 2007 to 2015, a 3-time first-team All-Pro, second-team All-Pro 1 time, a 6-time Pro Bowler, part of the NFL's All-Decade Team in the 2010s. His final season, he had 1,200 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns, and then said, deuces.
For the same reason?
I think he had some little ticky-tack injuries throughout his career. But
is Detroit doing okay? Is everyone all right in that?
The Lions are now 0-2. They have lost to the 49ers and the Green Bay Packers so far this year. Okay. Their coach likes to bite kneecaps.
That's the guy that I like, right?
Dan Campbell. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So no, the Lions it's been a rough go of it for Lions fans. They are known for it's known we joke because they play on Thanksgiving every day, and it's like, why do we have to freaking keep watching the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving? But a lot of times their fans will put paper bags over their heads and sit in the stands
because they're embarrassed to be.
They're embarrassed to be Lions fans.
I love Okay, let me run through a few more. And I know this is going to sound silly because he's playing this upcoming season, but LaMarcus Aldridge last year, I found it was kind of like he had come out and he's like, oh, like I just got diagnosed with, he was like a heart something with his heart, and he was also battling depression. He was like, I'm just going to take a step back and not play this year. I'm retiring. Consider it my retirement. And obviously he got cleared. He's playing this year. And my favorite one, Latrell Sprewell. This might be my favorite one because it was so weird. He thought he was worth more. He got the offer from, I think, Minnesota, was it? And he was like, you know what? I think his quote was like, I got to feed my family. And then no one else picked him up. And he just kind of
faded. Just kind of went off.
He went through some really weird stuff, like right after, like months after he didn't get picked up. His like girlfriend sued him for their $1.5 million yacht, and he was in bankruptcy, and there was GoFundMe pages, but he just never, that was his retirement. He just never replied to anyone else who offered him.
Well, at least he didn't, it saved another coach from being choked.
Roser!
Yeah, well, he did that.
Roser!
To PJ Carlissimo.
Roser!
He choked him.
My goodness.
In practice. All right, my last one is... This is kind of a local guy, too. From 2007 to 2014, Patrick Willis was a linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers. He was a two-time All-American right down the road, first-team All-American at Ole Miss. He's one of the best college football players I've ever seen in my life. The guy played an entire game. He had a broken hand, played an entire game with a cast on his arm, one hand, and was like the best player on the field.
Was he a quarterback? What's so impressive?
And he's playing with one hand. But Patrick Willis played 7 seasons in the NFL. He was a 5-time first-team All-Pro, 1-time second-team All-Pro. So 6 of his 7 seasons, he was an All-Pro. He was a Pro Bowler, which is basically their All-Star game. All 7 seasons he was in the league. He led the NFL in tackles twice. He part of the All-Decade team. He was the 2007 NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. His final season, he played 6 games because of a toe injury. And it wasn't a big deal. The doctors told him, you can play. You can keep playing. It was just like a turf toe thing, but it had kind of been lingering for a couple seasons, and then it limited him to 6 games in his final season. And his doctor did tell him, if you do keep playing, you will be like a lot of NFL players. If you look at a lot of old NFL players walking around retired, they walk around with a lot of limping, and they are bruised up and beaten. And he said, I don't want to be walking around with a limp. I want to be able to play catch with my kids in the yard and play football with my kids and play basketball with my kids and not be walking around with a limp. So he retired early.
All right. Oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I'm going to give some honorable mentions for mine because we're not going to have time to do it. Brandon Roy, who we talked about.
Yeah.
Chris
He
Bosh-
had no cartilage in his knees. His knees were just bone on bone.
But he was young.
He was young, but he really didn't have a choice. So it's not like it was.
Okay, but that's Chris Bosh as well. He had
but Bosh just came out of
right?
nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Bosh came out of nowhere. Whereas Brandon Roy, we had seen a few seasons of this was going on.
Isaiah Thomas, Carlos Boozer.
Carlos Boozer, definitely. Boozer scored in his last game. He had 10 points and 7 rebounds in his final game. It's all right, you can still play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and then he played 2 seasons in China.
Yeah.
But then it was okay, no, now I'm done. I think he was trying to get back
Did
to
he
the
play
NBA
with Stephon Marbury over there?
Probably.
And
against
eat
him
Vaseline with him?
We're done. Guys, let us know who you were most shocked with your athletes when they retired. I'm Kelcey. That's Roser, and we'll see you guys next week.
Don't eat Vaseline.
No, please don't.